Welcome back to another episode of the CattleUSA Daily Podcast. I wanted to come on here today because I read an article the other day that really had me turning the wheels in my brain. It made me really stop and think. And then after I stopped to think about it, I was like, I'm gonna research this a little bit more. I'm gonna go dive in. I am going to figure out what are research institutions saying, what's the research out there saying about all of this, and let's break it down, right? And it was not about markets or weather or cattle health or anything like that. It was actually about cybersecurity. Yes, you heard me right, about cyber threats. And at first, I'm gonna be completely honest, I thought okay, cool, we're talking about some packing plants getting hacked. What does this have to do with me and my cattle operation? But the more I thought about it, the more I realized how much tech is in each of our operations and how much of our operations rely on technology, from our record keeping apps to our feed systems to our banking to the equipment that we run, all of it. And if those things get shut down, hacked, or just compromised in general, it's not just a little inconvenience. It could potentially bring an operation to its knees. So today, I wanted to come on here and chat with you guys about cyber threats in ag, why it matters more, honestly, than most of us realize, why we need to be paying attention to it, and some simple ways that we can be protecting our farms and ranches. So let's take a minute and think about how much tech we already rely on without even noticing. GPS guidance in our tractors. We've got automated water systems. We've got apps that we use to log treatments. We've got our financial software. We've got our sale barn streaming platforms. We have so much technology at our fingertips. Most of that was built for convenience and efficiency, and that's a really awesome thing, but not necessarily for security. And hackers know that. We've already seen examples of processing plants get shut down, ransomware locking companies out of their system, livestock sales interrupted. We have seen countless situations, and we never think that it's going to be us. But imagine if your feed system didn't run for 3 days. What would you do? Or if someone locked you out of your bank account during shipping week, what would you do? That's not a far-fetched scenario anymore. And that's a little scary. It's not just about big operations that are vulnerable. It's not just the packing plants or the thousands and thousands of head operations that are vulnerable. It's small and mid-sized farms. Actually, they can be easier targets because we don't always have IT departments watching our backs. So what is at stake with all of this? You've got data, things like herd records, customer lists, banking info. You've got your equipment. Think of your feeders, your irrigation, and all of your tractors that run on software. And then you've also got trust, which I think is something that doesn't always get talked about. But whether you're a very large corporation and something like that happens, it makes the people in your direct work kind of just step back and think a little bit. But then if you're a small farmer or rancher, and let's say you have a direct-to-beef consumer operation and your website gets hacked, that also might make your customers kind of sit back and be like, okay, what's going on? So in other words, this isn't just about data privacy. It is about the money that we are making at the end of the day, the cattle that we are taking care of, and every single one of our livelihoods. So what are we going to do about it? I am not saying that we need to be hiring a cybersecurity firm tomorrow. Absolutely not. But there are some practical, simple steps that every single operation can start taking. Number one, and I probably need to listen to this sometimes too, but stronger passwords, not just 1234 or your dog's name, but using unique passwords and specifically also changing them periodically. That's where I need to listen. Because, guys, I think I have some accounts that have had the same password on them since I was in middle school, if I'm being completely honest. So, preaching to the choir here on that one. I need to get off of this podcast and go change some of my passwords, I'm pretty sure. Number two, turning on two-factor authentication if it is offered with that certain system. And most systems that are housing our secure data have two-factor authentication. So things like your bank, your email, and any other software that you can turn it on for please go turn it on. It's so easy to do. It's just going to send a text message or an email with a number to your phone or your email, or you might download an app for it. It is a godsend. Please go turn it on. Number 3, make sure that you are keeping your software updated. I know it is extremely annoying when those little reminders come across, but these updates, yeah, sometimes they're bringing in new tech, new cool things, but most of the time they're actually just fixing security holes. A hole was found in the system, an update gets sent out, it fixes it. So do not ignore them. Don't keep putting it off. Number 4, don't mix up your accounts. Try and keep accounts separate where you can. I know it's not avoidable in every situation, but try and do it where you can. And number 5, back up your data, whether it is on a hard drive or a secure cloud storage platform like Dropbox or something like that. If your system gets hacked, you will still have what you need. And this also goes out of cybersecurity and into other aspects as well of it. For me, we had a family friend that devastatingly lost their home and part of their ranch in a really bad fire. And one of the hardest things when we were recovering from that fire in the initial days was the fact that we didn't have any herd records. We didn't know what cattle were supposed to be where. We had some, but they weren't I think they were updated 3 months prior to that. So we didn't have any of the calves that were on those pastures. We didn't have anything. And it was really, really difficult to figure out who was supposed to be where, what our numbers were supposed to be at, what our pasture levels were, all of these things, because it was kept in a notebook in the office in the house. And we lost that. So make sure that you are keeping things updated and in a secure cloud storage folder as well. And finally, one thing that is often overlooked, but make sure that you are training your people. If you have a spouse, kids, employees, whoever else is touching these ranch accounts, make sure that they also know everything that we talked about today. And that the fact that, yes, there's still phishing emails that get sent out with sketchy links or random apps that get downloaded if you open a wrong browser or something like that. But these hackers have gotten so smart, extremely, extremely smart over the past years. So keep your head on a swivel. Make sure that you're staying up to date on all of those things and make sure that everyone around you also understands what it looks like to have good cybersecurity hygiene. And here's where the real shift came for me, guys. We put locks on our front door. I have a lock on my garage. I have a lock on my gates in my backyard. We have locks on all of our gates to all of our cattle pastures. I have insurance on this house in case a fire happens. But we rarely think about guarding our digital assets with the same locks that we put on our physical ones. The truth is, cybersecurity is just another form of risk management. It is no different than buying mineral to prevent cattle health issues or having insurance on your house in case of a fire. If you think about it that way, it stops feeling like this tech stuff and starts feeling part of being a responsible operator. So here's the takeaway for all of you. The thing is, the more connected that our industry gets, the more that we've got to take cybersecurity extremely seriously. You do not need to overhaul your whole system, but you do need to start somewhere. This week, I encourage you to pick one small step. Change your passwords. Hello, that's me. I'm going to go change my passwords after we get off of this podcast on some of my things. Set up two-factor authentication and back up your records onto an secure online format. I know that this is not exciting work. Honestly, I don't really find fixing a fence in the middle of a snowstorm super exciting work, but I've got to do it to keep my cattle in, to keep my ranch protected. That's not exciting work, but I'm doing it. So look at this the same way. Both of these things are protecting what matters at the end of the day. And here's the thing. Your ranch can be hacked just like anything else. The question is, are you ready for it when it happens? Or if it happens, how can you prevent it from happening in the first place? Thank you all for listening to another episode of the CattleUSA Daily Podcast. I hope you guys enjoyed this one and had some good takeaways. I know I'm going to go change some passwords after getting off of this podcast, but thank you guys so much for listening to another episode. I hope you guys have a blessed rest of your day, and we will see you all tomorrow on another one. We'll see you guys.